Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So good to have everyone on this call today. Yeah, my name is Omotade Bikoya from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a product designer. I'll be your training, right, uh, for this training. I'll be your instructor for this training. Right. Let's just wait for next 5 minutes for other folks to join in, right? So while we wait, and I would like to know who I was on the call and just a bit of introduction. I know we got Precious, Monica, Good News, Debayo, Hamran, I hope I pronounced that well, Aditutu, Samuel, and Tajuddin, Oluwaseyi. And I would like, if you can unmute yourself, let's start from Monica. Can you just introduce yourself to us if that's fine by you? You can just put that on the chat box. All right. I also believe everybody can hear me, right? If you can hear me, just give me a Y in the chat box. Give me a yes, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Monica, are you there? All right. Good News. Can you please unmute your mic and just introduce yourself to us, if that's fine by you? So we just do that while we wait for the other folks to join the call, right? The next 5 minutes we pick off. I I think people don't want to, don't want to unmute your mic and introduce yourself to us. All right. So if you don't want to unmute your mic, you can just put your name, put that in the chat box. That's fine, right?
I'm Kelvin George.
I can barely hear you. Can you speak up a little bit, please? All right. In the next 2 minutes, we kick off, and yeah. Okay. While we wait for other people to join the call, we all, we are all surrounded by design every day, right? Whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or even your alarm clock app, right? So I want everyone to think of one app or website you use often. Tell us what you love most about it, or what you would like to redesign if you could, right? I'll start from me, right? For me, right, I love Spotify's interface. It's clean and easy to use. I would like to improve the playlist, you know, I would like to improve the playlist, just to, organize it very well, right? And I would like to hear from you guys. So I'm going to start share my screen now. And so let us know what's one of the best app you use daily, right? And what you like about the app, what you would like to, if you would redesign the app, right? So what would it be? Anybody that wants to talk, you can just raise up your hand and unmute yourself. Okay, Kelvin, go ahead, please.
Kelvin George, joining from the top of
More audible, please, Kelvin.
I'm Kelvin George. I'm joining from Port Harcourt, River State.
Oh, welcome. That's awesome. So just tell us the app, you use like everyday app, right? So what do you like about the app, what could you, if you were to redesign the app, if you could redesign the app, so what would you have, what would you, what is the features like would you like to, add to the app or
I,
websites?
I, I think I would try to, I would want to make it, so that it will be much more interactive. Like, I think a little bit more that where, where, I don't know.
Okay. 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 I can actually barely hear you, though, but that's fine. Yeah. So, is anybody else that wants to, okay, I did tell me why you can go ahead, please. I did tell me why. Unmute your mic.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, can you hear me well, right? So,
Very well.
one, thank you very much. One app my name is Adewale Adetomiwa. One app, right?
Right.
Audio Mac.
Seems you are breaking.
Now,
Okay,
network.
okay.
Can you Audio Mac?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Audio Mac is
Okay.
hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, Audio Mac is actually good, but the first interface that you see, like the first, most times it gets really, really clustered around that first interface that you see. So if I was to redesign it, I would try to free up space and make it a bit more brighter because sometimes it looks so dark and yellow. So thank you very, very much.
Right, right. Yeah, yes. Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. So, okay, who is raising up? You can drop your hand, and it tell me what, so for us to know. Okay. I think who else wants to try? Okay, Emmanuel, please go ahead. Emmanuel Oluwambiye, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Afolabi Emmanuel
Good
Oluwabamshi.
evening. All
Yeah,
right.
if there is a app I would like to redesign, that would be Boomplay.
Right.
Yeah, Boomplay. When
Okay.
it comes to the user experience, when it comes to downloading a song or a playlist, is kind of I don't like it actually. So that is where I would like to redesign. And then the theme sometimes is kind of boring. The theme of Boomplay is
Mm,
kind of boring. Yeah. So that's what I would like to
right.
redesign. Thank you.
Compared to the other apps, right? Other
Yes,
audio,
apps like YouTube Music,
right.
Spotify. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't even know that people still don't play actually. I can't remember the last time I used don't play. It's been
I
years
never
now.
opened.
All right, thank you. Right, right. Thank you, Manuel. So, does anybody, before we kickstart, does anybody wants to try again? And so if there's nobody, and I will just go to my slide. So how are you feeling right now? You can just drop an emoji, just in a word that describe your mood as we start our journey today. And just give me an emoji. It's an emoji. Okay. So that's fine. I want to believe some of us joined the what's it called? the onboarding session on Wednesday, right? And for the sake of people that were not able to join the onboarding, right? So I'm just going to quickly share the breakdown of the weekly activities, right? The weekly breakdown, right? So the first week, I'm going to run this thing very fast. The first week, right, is going to be the introduction to UI UX, the purpose. I know some of you have, maybe I've gone through that phase before, and so this one is going to be, be different, right? I can promise you that, yeah. We're going to look into purpose of UI UX, the importance of UI UX, right? Then the 7 principles of UI UX, common rules in design, and user research. That's very, we have to, that is one of the main things we actually have to, that because as a designer, right, you don't just design interface. There should be a thought process to what you are doing, right? So people don't just design because, and you will see some of designers, right? Some of them you see different fine interface, very beautiful, right? And you ask them to walk you through the design. So why is this here? Why I don't know. Ask them why the words why. You try to put some elements there, right? No answer, right? So yeah, we are going to go into all the stuff. How to approach user research, how to user research method, user flow, empathy map. That's the week 1, and the week 2 intro to wireframe and the wireframe based practice, wireframe fidelity, then intro to Figma, and I believe, like I said, I'm going to run through this. The week 3 UI components like the task, kebab menu, and some buttons and toggle switch, and many more, right? Then prototyping. So week 4, right? It's going to be week 4. It's going to be how to can upload your portfolio on Behance and Dribbble, right? And so that's going to be a week 4, and so because I think I missed something, right? The week 2, right? There's going to be from week 2. We're going to start UI challenge every day till the end of week 4, right? Then you do that every day. You post on your Behance, not on Dribbble Short, right? You do that and you post them on your Dribbble. Or after you can compile everything together. Once you are done with everything with the UI, after at the end of week 4, right? You can now start uploading them on your on your Dribbble, right? So you have something to showcase that what we've done for, right? And yeah, so then Behance is for when you want to upload like a case study, right? So that's for Behance and Dribbble. So yeah, so we are going to run through that, right? And so so let's move forward. What's the big idea? Is understanding UI UX, right? Just imagine going into a store, right? And UX is like the whole experience, Is it easy to find parking? Is the store laid out logically? And staff helpful, feeling, do you leave feeling happy with your purchase, right? And user experience is all about how something feels to use, right? Does it make sense? Is it easy to find what you need? Does it solve your problem? UX is the entire journey, right? You take when using a digital product. Right? So if you are still with me, please give me a yes in the chat box just to know that people can hear me. All right, thank you. So user interface, right? In our store analogy, right? UI is like the decor, the signs, the price tags, the way the products are displayed is the visual store, right? And just to a bit like definition of user interface, which is user interface is about what you see and interact with. It's the buttons, the colors, the fonts, the pictures, the layouts, right? UI is the presentation of the digital product, right? And we move to the purpose of UI UX, right? So think about driving a car, right? Good UX means the car is, is designed so you can easily reach the pedals and steering wheels. The mirrors, the mirrors show you show you what you need to see. Good UI means the dashboard is clear, the buttons are labeled, and you can easily see your speed, right? And just for a scenario, right? Just a bit analogy, right? Just there was a class I had, and I was just telling some people like, just imagine, God created us around. Your mouth is behind your head. They want to feed yourself. You just have to, put the spoon, bring the spoon at the back of your head to put it inside your mouth. That could have been a bad experience, right? User experience, right? So the purpose too, right, is solving your problems. Another purpose is to actually solve your problems, whether you're trying to pay bills, find information, connect with friends. Good UI UX helps you to do that efficiently, right? And the purpose three, right, helping businesses. It's also important for the people who make these digital products, right? When users have a good experience, right, they are more likely to stick around, buy things and use the service again. These help businesses, right? And so yeah, so that is the purpose three, right? Then we move into importance of UI UX design, right? Please, are you still with me? I would like to just give me a yes in the chat box, just to know I'm communicating.
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. All right. We have the importance of UI UX design, right? The importance one, happy users, right? When something has a great UI UX, right, users are happier, they enjoy using it, and they are more likely to tell others about it. For me, yeah, right, once I see another app, right, once I download, at least I download up to 6 apps in a week that I just want to check their interface, their experience. Just also why I love this app, to compare, before if the app, if I love the experience of the app, for example, now just like Stanbic app and I'm trying to remember this guy's app, the Providus app, Providus Bank app. I said Stanbic, I mean Kuda, right? You can't compare the experience, right? For me personally, I'd rather use Kuda app and than using Providus Bank because the interface is really great. Then the experience too as well, right? And yeah, so for me, so I would tell people, I do that a lot. Like, have you seen this app? I tell my guys, like, check this app, see the expenses or website. It's crazy, sleek. So yeah, so when people are happy about the app, it's likely to tell other people like, oh, to try this app, right? So importance three, right? Two, sorry guys, bear with me. Getting things done, right? Just think about online shopping. A well-designed site makes it easy to find products. Add them to your cart, and check out. That means more sales for the business. All right. And we have the important for building trust. A polished and easy to use digital product builds trust in the brand. If an app feels clunky or looks messy, you might not trust it with your personal information or money. I, I, am I correct? So yeah, just imagine, right? There was something happened. I'm going to digress a little bit. Couple of years ago, and I saw a web app, is a website, e-commerce website. Like I'm just seeing it for the first time, and the interface were not that great. The interface was not that great. But what they are doing promo on that app, like you want to get a laptop of 1.5 million naira. So they are selling it. They are selling it. I think 40,000 naira. They said they want to, they want to clear their store. From what I saw on the site. Yeah, I copied the URL. I sent to a friend of mine that does backend, right? I said, please, let me check these guys. These guys, are they legit? And the guy said, no, these guys, I shouldn't mind them. So these guys actually clone, there are all these guys, they actually clone a website for another company in the UK. They cloned their website. So they were now running ads for people. Just imagine how many people will have paid for the laptops and some other stuff. I'm very sure that none of them are going to get the goods. Right? Trusting that, I can go to Jumia, put my cards there, everybody uses Jumia, right? And I trust them, right, with everything. So if Jumia mess up, tag them on Twitter or everything, they will reform back and run. All right. So yeah. So the goal of UX is to make the product useful and enjoyable, right? And the goal of UI is to make the product attractive and easy to interact with. You can have a product with beautiful UI, it looks great, right? But terrible UX. It's impossible to figure out how to use, or you could have a great UX, or how to use it. Sorry, guys. You could have a great UX, it's super easy to use, but a bland UI. It doesn't look very appealing, And the best digital product have both great UI and great UX working together. And bear in mind, you can have a great UX, right? It will convert than you having a great UI, then the experience is bad, right? If a web app has a great UX, right? On an app, it can still convert, but if the interface is bad, it cannot convert anything, then the experience is crazy, it's bad, right? If the interface is great, but experience is bad, it can't convert smoothly, right? So that is it. So just bear in mind. Moving to thinking design process, right? We have the empathy, ideate, prototype, and test. So empathy. What is empathy? Empathize, I mean. Think of this like cooking for someone, right? Before you start, you need to know what they actually like, right? Right. So you talk to your users, find out their taste, what frustrates them, and what they really need. That is how you understand who you are cooking for, right? Empathize. Start by getting to know your audience, what they need, what frustrates them, and what they truly expect, right? The goal is to see through their hearts. I'm going to digress a little bit just to tell a story. I think I have to believe most guys on this call, they've had this experience of going to a salon, and the barber you tell the barber that this is what I want to cut. This is the hairstyle I want to. You just show the barber that this is the kind of hairstyle I want from your phone. The barber will say, yes, I want it. For in his mind, him seeing your head shape, just he has assumed that, oh, this is the kind of hairstyle that will fit this person. you know, by the time you start cutting your hair, you just realize that, you just close your eyes, you are sleeping, the AC is blowing your head. By the time you open your eyes, look into the mirror, you see another style. You know, I've I've had that experiences. I want to believe if you've had that experience, right, with barbers, just give me a yes in the chat box. so so that I know that I'm not the only one. Okay, so all right. So we move to the next one. Define. Once you understand your users, right, clearly state the main problem you are solving. Something real and centered around the user. Now that right, now that you know your guest taste, you can define what's made to make. Just like going to a restaurant and someone is sitting down, you as a chef or maybe uh, waiter, you just assume this person that is sitting down, I think this person would like to eat rice. You just reach, you just went to go, you just went ahead and dish rice and go and serve the person. That is insane, all right? And that's not a good thing, right? So now in design time, this means you state the real problem, something focused on the user, and because if you define the problem wrong, you will cook the wrong dish. Yeah, that's just the issue, right? And we move to the ideas. Please, if you have any question, right, please drop them in the chat box, and after the presentation, we can look into it together. All right, thank you. So, ideas. Now it's time after you've empathized with your users, right, and everything. So you now move to ideation, right? Now it's time to brainstorm, and think of different things based on things you've heard. Go to your sketch, get your hands dirty. From there you get the right thing, right? And don't hold back the wild ideas, right? Don't hold back. Excuse me. The wild ideas often lead to the best solutions. Sometimes, right? Yeah, it has worked for me, yeah, most of the times, right? And then afterwards, you moved on to your prototype, and I was saying from the analogy I was making from like the kitchen, the chef, right? And now that now you don't, excuse me, oh my God. Now you don't need to cook the entire feast, right? And just to make it sample, make a taste sample, right? In design, that is like building a simple version, a sketch wireframe. It could be a sketch wireframe or mockup. It helps you see how your ideas looks and feel before going into build, right? Yeah, that's prototyping, right? And we move to test. Finally, share those prototypes with real users. Listen, learn, and refine until your solution truly works for them, right? And so briefly, let's quickly look into common design rules before we jump into the next, right? So there's one more thing I'll need to say before we move on. Investing in good UI UX isn't just a nice to have; it's crucial in today's world, right? I think most people transition into UI UX. I've seen a lot of people, right? A lot of guys who started together and then back then. Just think, they are hearing, start UI UX game on to start making dollars, So I'm very sure most of you have joined different boot camp or training, beginners training like this. They will put it on a flyer there. After next 1 week training, 4 weeks training, you start making money as a UI designer, right? That is a lie. I'm going to tell you it. UI UX design is not like it's not. Yeah, someone mic is on there. Please, can you mute your mic? All right. So, and UX designer. UX designer are like detective. They investigate what users need, what frustrates them, and how to make their experience smoother. Right? Their job is to make sure products feel right, not just look right. Right? That is UX designer role for you. Right? Then we have the UI designer. Right? Excuse me. UI designers handle the visuals, colors, buttons, layouts, typography. They are the artists who make digital product beautiful and consistent, right? And we have the product designer. Product designers do a bit of everything: research, UX, UI, and strategy, right? And they think about what to build, why to build it, and how it helps users, users and business. They are the bridge between creativity and business impact. Most people mix product design and UI UX design, together. So though they are almost the same thing, but product design is likely, they think about how the business is going to make money. They strategize, they involve themselves in every meeting, like they hold the products, right? So that's product designer for you. And then we have the interaction design, we have the UX researcher, right? And in a big company, right, that is where you have. I don't know if anyone have seen a job role here in Nigeria. Right? It's not common, right? That a UX researcher needed, or we are hiring UX researchers. They are not that common. Even so, because it's big companies that usually look for UX researchers separately, right? And their job is to uncover the truth about users through surveys, interview, and testing. They make sure design decisions are backed by real data, not assumption, right? And there's a lot on the UX research, but I'm going to give you some of the give it today, show you guys some of these today. Yeah. Then we have the UX writer, right? UX writers have the words you see in the app. So just like content, right? Just like content creators, So in UX, we call them UX writer, just to make them feel good. Right? Don't mind me, just for that. So if you see, all these model on your UX, the two teams, all right? So, that's their jobs, they write all those sort of things, all right? And so, yeah. So, we have, oh my God, I've not been, I thought I've been sharing my screen since, so sorry, guys. So, let's moving on to 7 principles of UX designer. And I also believe that everyone has stayed with me can hear me very clear. And yes, so please, if you can still hear me, please give me a yes, the chat box. Give me a Y in the chat box. Oh, okay, all right. So, all right. So, 7 principles of UX design. We have the usefulness. Every picture should have purpose. If it doesn't make a user's life easier, it doesn't belong there, right? And like I said earlier, most people just, some people, not most people, most designers create beautiful interface, and you ask them, why is this button there? can't tell you the reason why. Why is the mother there? Why is the toothpick, two tips, and all those sort of things, right? Usefulness. Usefulness is the core principle of UX design. It ensures that your product truly addresses users' need and provide practical solutions to their problem, right? And usability. Usability is a key pillar of great UX design and should never be overlooked, right? It focuses on building products or websites that are intuitive, simple, and effortless to navigate, right? And so great design shouldn't need a manner. Yeah. So just people shouldn't be looking for manner just to use your app. It's it's not a great thing. So and the next one we have desirability. Desirability in UX is what makes a product enjoyable, engaging, and attractive to its users. It goes beyond functionality and visuals, creating an emotional connection that makes people genuinely want to use the product, right? And I'm going to quickly to run through this. We have findability. Um, Findability in UX design focuses on making information easy to locate through clear navigation, logical structure, and efficient search features. It's all about helping users quickly find what they need right where they expect it. And yeah, just imagine you are on the you open an e-commerce website, right? Where we have under the categories where we have shoes, clothes, and for children, you are seeing what's it called? Toy day, right? So it's not a good UX, right? So all those sort of things, they are really, really important. I've seen websites like that, right? And even supermarkets where we're supposed to put what's it called? Um, for example, now let's say uh, detergent, all this, toilet soap, all this stuff. You are seeing some other thing that's not supposed to be under that category. Yeah, excuse me. And yeah, we have the accessibility. Accessibility in design means creating experiences that everyone can use and enjoy, regardless to their physical, sensory, or cognitive ability. All right. And credibility. According to BMAD, according to the BMAD Institute, 25% of users leave their cards because they don't trust the website with their credit cards details. Credibility builds that trust is what convinces users, right? That your website and offerings are safe and dependable. All right. So that is credibility for you. So, and the last one here, we have the value impact. Great products create value for both users and the business. But the main priority should always be the user's needs and goals. By focusing on what truly matters to users, the product fulfills its purpose and delivers meaningful value. All right. So, how to approach user research, right? You know, by you set a specific goals, right? Today I'm trying to just lost my train of thought now, right? So yeah, it's essential, right, to set specific goals to guide your research efforts, right? And the next, you identify available resources, right? And the next one, you select a methodology and you collect data, analyze findings, right? So, excuse me, user research, UX research, yeah, user research. User research is the process of understanding users' behavior, needs, and motivations through observation and feedback to create user-centered products. It helps designer make informed decisions rather than assumption, right? That's user research. And the importance of UX research. One of the importance of UX research is to ensure the products solve the right problem, right? Reduces design risk and work, and improves user satisfaction and retention, supports data-driven design decision, right? And build empathy for users, right? Right. The two main types of UX research, right? We have the qualitative research and quantitative research, right? Quantitative research, you explore why users behave a certain way, right? Interview the users, usability testing, field study, right? Qualitative research focuses on understanding why users behave in a certain way. This includes methods like interview, usability test, and field study, right? And on the other hand, quantitative research measures what users do, how often they do it. Common methods include, like, you can use to for quantitative research, right? Surveys, analytics, and A/B testing. Both types of research are essential for gaining a comprehensive understanding, right, of user behavior and improving user experience, right? Right. So UX research process, right? And before you go into the process of UX research, you've got to define goals and research questions, right? You choose the methods you want to go with. Maybe you are going with qualitative or quantitative, right? Then afterwards, you recruit participants. They conduct research, analyze findings, you share insight, right? And then we have the common UX research method: user interviews, surveys, usability testing, card sorting, observation and field study, A and B testing, right? Diary studies. Right. The next one is what does UX research produce? So we have the user personas, empathy maps, journey maps, usability reports, right? Key insights and recommendation, right? You know, first of all, for the what UX research produce, you create user personas, which help you understand your target audience better, right? Then next you move on to the empathy maps, right? You draw the empathy maps. The empathy maps allow you to visualize user feeling and experiences, right? All right. Then the journey maps illustrate the user's paths, right? Highlighting key interactions and pain points. Then we have the usability reports, right? Usability reports provide insight into how users interact with our products, with your products, right? Excuse me. And then finally, you gather key insights and recommendations to inform your design decision, right? Right. So, in summary, UX research helps us understand users deeply, design them with empathy, create meaningful, accessible, and effective experience. Right. It's essential for understanding users deeply, which informs your design decision. Right. And it encourages it encourages you, to design with empathy. You're not just designing like, so like this design is for you. No, you are designing for people, right? Ensure that you consider users' perspective and needs, right? So yeah, so good design, is based on understanding people, not guessing, right? Not guessing what they want, right? You've got to do your research and before designing anything, right? And um, so yeah, user persona. So let's discuss the concepts of the user persona, and it's important, and it's important in understanding our target audience, right? And user persona, a persona brings together, right, insight about the target audience gathered through user research methods such as interviews, field studies, focus group, and card sorting. It outlines key information about users, needs, their goals, their beliefs, their pain points, right? And may also include background details like age, gender, right? And occupation, like you see here, right? So the purpose of user personnel, right? Purpose of personnel. It helps designers remember who their users are, right? That's number one. Number two, develop empathy, right? The third one is make better design decisions. And the fourth one is to find a consensus, right? And what's to include in a personnel, right? You don't just design personnel, so you have to, there are things you've got to put there, right? Excuse me. We have to put the image, image and name, right? Demographics, psychographics, then codes, right? So I'm not going to stay on this for long, right? So empathy map now. What is empathy map? An empathy map is a diagram that encapsulates information about users' behavior and attitudes. It offers insight into users' overall persona and is not structured in a chronological or sequential manner. Empathy maps assist design teams in establishing a common comprehension of user requirements and facilitate decision making, right? So yeah, that is empathy map. And so we move to the next slide. We've got the four quadrants of empathy map, right? Which is we have the SACE, the SACE quadrant, which is contain. For example, now looking at the example we have here on this on the slide, right? The SACE quadrant contains what the user says out loud in an interview or usability study. Ideally, it contains verbatim user code from scratch, right? And we have the things, right? The things quadrant represent what is going on and what is going on in the user's mind during the experience. Consider the user is focused on. Excuse me. You've got to consider what the user is focused on. Most important to them, right? Rely on insight from your qualitative, right? That is things, right? And it is possible, right? It's possible to have the same content in both the SACE and think quadrants. yeah, that is actually possible, right? So in case, then we have the doors, we have uh, the fields, right? So moving on to user flow, right? User flow is the path, right? Users take to complete a specific goal on your website or app. From entry point to final action, it shows how users move, where they drop off, and what leads them to success, right? And yeah, why user flow matters. Excuse me. User flow help you understand how users navigate and think. It reviews the bottleneck and the friction points, right? It improves conversion rates and satisfaction. It guides information architecture decision and ensures consistency across pages or screens, right? Components of user flow. We have the entry point where user starts, for example, home page, email link, cards, right? Then we have the decision point where users choose what to do next, actions, tags users, platform, e.g., then we have the outcome, right? And types, we have different type of flows, user flow. We have the tax flow, we have the wire flow, we have the user journey flow, right? And so tools for creating user flow, right? Um, FigJam. So me personally, I use FigJam, right? So when I started back in the year before FigJam came out, and I used to use Miro, even though I don't like it, right? I used to use Miro, and we have the Seeker, Lucid Chart, and the and the rest. So I want to believe that. So I'm going to show you guys before I show you guys, I know maybe some people know how to create user flow, and for the sake of people that doesn't know how to create user flow, so I'm going to show you how to create a user flow, right? And so before I show you that, and I want to believe that, let me ask questions. Let me check if I have questions, right? On the call. Is there any question before I jump into FigJam? So if you have any question, please put it in the chat box, or you can raise up your hand and then you unmute your mic. Any question? Okay. So since there's no question, let me go to FigJam and share some of the. Okay, someone is raising up his hand. Okay.
Sorry, sir.
I just please. Over to you.
So I want to ask, how can we get the slides or a PDF document of everything you've been explaining so that we can go back to the basics sometimes or do
Yeah,
revision?
I think this is on the recording, right? And so the recording will be uploaded to Google and you can go back to it. Yeah. Is that all?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. Okay. So Can you see my screen, please? I'm on another screen now. Please just let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. So this is like this is a user flow like for a this for a fintech project. We did what early last no early last year, right? Right. So, but before I go there, I'm going to so just a sample of the code. What is it called? You can see, the loan application process, the back end and everything. The admin flow is there. We have the user flow and the rest, right? So let's just do the basic user flow together, right? And I want to believe you guys are ready, right? So let me open the file for this, right? Picture. So you are with your system, you are in front of your system, then you got Figma on your system, you can follow me through as I, can design this together. If that makes sense. Just a moment, okay. So before I will just quickly explain something here on Figma. So we have some of the shapes, the common shapes we use in creating user flow. Right? We have the triangle. I said triangle. We have the symbol. We have circle, starting points and end points. We have the rectangle, for pages and steps. Then the diamond shape, right, for decision point and condition. Then you have the parallelogram, right, for inputs, right, and other things. So there are many shapes, but these are the common stuff, right? And let's just look into them. So once you are on your picture, right? So just come over to here where we have shapes here. So click on it. It will hover you to. It's going to bring the rest of the shapes that are there, right? So and then we have the connectors to connect the shapes together. So like I said earlier, so once you click on it, just put it on the stop here, on the board here, and you can just put this as a starting point, right? Or just put start, right? So I'm going to change the color, right? From white, and change the color here, let me use blue here, right? So you can change the color here, and so then you can reduce the shape. You can hit K on your keyboard, right? To oops, so to reduce shape, right? So like I said, we have so let's just create simple wireframe together, right? So this is the starting point, right? And we have the what is this? Display. So you come to check, bring another shape out. So we change this guy color. So so I'm going to change this guy color here. This rectangle, let me use right. So this will be one column. Right. So for me, most times when I'm creating user flow, if the project is really uh, depending on the project, sometimes I start with a rough sketch before first, just to have an idea of what I want to create before. Then I jump into still on FreeJam. I use like um, the tax flow, right? Right before starting with user flow, right? So so we have the welcome here, right? And so let's say we want to create a user flow for let's say for an e-commerce website. So for a new user flow for an e-commerce or just login, right? Login user flow for a web app, for a mobile app, either web app or mobile app, right? So let's do that. So yeah, this is the welcome page, right? So I'm going to change this. You can change this shape here, right? Change this to this guy here, and to the decision diamond shape here. I'm going to use another color for this, right? I'm going to use another color for this, right? And here now we can say continue with social. Continue with social, right? All right. So yeah, from here you can start joining these guys together. Yeah, from here to here, and you click on this guy here, and you join it together, right? So we have another um, shape here. You can duplicate, right? So you can going to turn this shape here to a parallel shape here, and I'm going to right. So I'm going to use another color for this here. Okay. So let me create two more shape for connecting that. Right. Right. And so I'm going to duplicate these. Right. So here now connect with social, right? So once a user coming into the app, the first thing is the like let's say the onboarding, right? Onboarding. Then to if they are new users, right? Tell them to log in, continue with social, right? Maybe their social media account, right? If they said yes, we need to join this guy to this guy here, right? So yeah, now you can double click that the connector for you so that will allow you to push guide text right inside it, right? So if they say yes, right, to connect with social, right? So you now link. So this will now be, let's say, connect with Apple. This will be, let's say, Apple. Just use few of the guys. Google, right? Maybe Facebook, right? So we connect these guys with this, right? And with this, right? So that is if the person, right, wants to connect with social, right? So then the next one will be, so let me reduce the size of my screen, right? So the next one will be, if you have any question, please you don't understand anything, right? So I can go back and go back again just for you to understand, right? So yeah, so if you are, I'm going to use another of this guy. I'm going to duplicate this guy. So let's see. Right. So I'm going to double click inside again, right? So if you say connect with social, so here is going to be you say no, okay, connect with email, right? Um, right. So then the next thing is, so we have the screens we have there. So we have connect with, continue with socials. We have those shapes here already, right? So the person said no. Okay, you can connect with email, right? So so that is how you can just simply create your what's it called? Um, your user flow, right? So and so on. So this is not the end of this. So if you start, still have the different frames, different shape to create just to end of this user flow, the flow for the login, right? And is there any question? Hello, is there any question? Okay, Kelvin, please go ahead.
Thank you. I had my screen to be out for a minute, so I just wanted to ask how connections were made from the continue with social down to when you have the connect with email.
I can barely hear you, please. Can you repeat that question again?
I said my screen was out for a minute, so I wanted to know how the connections were made from the continue with from the yellow square, how you connected the orange
Okay.
blue with the yellow square, yeah.
Okay. So you said your screen went blank when before I connect with email, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So this is I'm going to. So this is it, and I'm going to explain this based on when you are using a mobile app, right? And so that you'll be able to understand very well. So if you open the app from just download the app maybe from the Play Store or Apple Store, right? And maybe there are some apps that use they will they will have onboarding, right? And before they get to okay, as a new user, continue with you have this okay sign up or sign in, or they just say continue with social, right? Maybe like Facebook, uh, you know, Google, Apple, all those sort of things, right? So if you say, there's another place, if you don't want to continue with all these things, there's another input field, where you will have to input your email, right? So this is where we have this, this connector here. So if you are not connecting with this, if you say no to this, so that means we are connecting with your email, right? So I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So any other question, please? Okay, I will appreciate if you can ask more questions because there's going to be an assignment, right? And I would appreciate, because this user is going to be part of the assignment and some other stuff, right? Now I will appreciate if you guys can do the assignment, right? Anything you don't understand now, yeah. So I can.
Sorry, you said the whole class will be recorded and sent to our emails, right?
You said
The class will be recorded
what do you say?
and sent to us. You said the class will be recorded and sent
Yeah,
to our
yeah,
emails.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's right, yeah. Yeah. So all right. So if there's no other question, I think this will be the end of this class. And next week, please do the assignments. Next week is going to be where the thing is we start getting amazing. They're going to enter Figma fully next week. And yeah, so please, if you don't understand research, and if it's just you only know how to use Figma, that's all you know how to do. Then you don't understand users, can't carry on with user research, and that is, you're not won't be a great UI UX designer. Yeah, I can tell you that from here. So there's no other question. So this class will come to head, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Please check the Google Class. So the assignment will be there in the next couple of minutes, please. And the due dates too will be there. If you have any question, you can drop it in the group, right? In the Google Class, I mean. So people that are going to answer it, they already there. So thank you all for joining, and see you in Google Class. Right. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay.
Sir, please, where are we getting the assignments? Where will the assignment be assigned to us?
Yeah, this evening. You will get the assignment on Google Class.
Okay.